BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. You think you know your stuff? Well, get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200K. $200,000. It's ridiculous. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
I just wanted to go over something real quick. So yesterday you told me that Rikishi had got off on Vince Russo, so I looked it up. I only saw Rikishi's part. I mean, he went ham on him.
Right.
And what I would like to see, if either Joe could find it or you could find it, is what was the original comment? Because then it seems like he made a comment afterwards where he might be, and maybe I read it wrong or I read it partially, where he kind of backtracked and said, well, that's the way I see it, or something like
No, Vince is another dumb take. Let me read. I'll read you the tweet.
Yeah.
Vince is like these days. He's like, I mean, I don't know what he's doing here.
Are you get what was it a tweet? 'Cause it says here he got Russo claimed the IC title is nothing more than a prop, and he heavily criticized Usso's promo, claiming he did not understand why Uso would get emotional over winning the prop, which is what.
Right. Yeah. Vince keeps calling the belt a prop.
Yeah, he's always,
and he was
Right.
like insulting Jey Uso for getting emotional when he won the belt, because the belt's just a prop. Bro, Vince has. I mean,
okay,
he does a show castrating the marks.
Right.
Vince's takes are like the worst in the wrestling community right now. He's wrong about literally everything he says. He's like, it's brutal.
So I just want to ask you two something, because one's a wrestler, one's a fan. So when you hear that, Joe, what do you think? What do you say to that?
Well, dude, if I like Vince, I've always, and I like all the stuff.
That has nothing to do with it. I'm asking you, what do you think of the take?
No, I like to preface it. The take I've always hated. I've always hated his, because if everything's a prop and everything's meaningless, then why would I ever get invested?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
it's it's stupid to treat it like you're not. What you're not doing is sticking, because he's being like he's literally doing what Dave Meltzer does.
Right.
Okay. Accepts the phoniness of professional wrestling on the surface, and like that's so that's how it's presented to the fans. There's no like adhering to the principles of reality and suspension of disbelief. Like if you just say it's a prop and it doesn't mean, it's like if you're treating it like that, okay, on the show, you're doing a disservice, because now the people are not going to be invested in treating the product like it's like they're not suspending disbelief. It's just so dumb.
So this is what's my take on it, which is very close to your guys. When I heard Keish go off, because obviously that's his son, because he actually challenged Vince to a fight. Okay.
Right.
And so, Keish don't fuck around, bro.
Right.
See, he's straight up.
And you can tell he's very protective of his kid.
Of course.
He's been like, he's calling out WWE on their creative with them and so everything, right? Yeah.
So he says, and he was right. When he said, and I agreed with him, he said, they're not doing with my kid. And I was like, yeah, he's right. They aren't doing anything with him. He's super over. He got the yeet over. His entrance is cool. He's selling a lot of merchandise, and he's going to cool off if they don't do something with him. And they finally did. But you got to remember, because Rikishi brought something up. He goes, my son's out there, traveling away from his family. So is Vince Russo. But there's a big difference. Vince wasn't wrestling. Okay. And that's a whole nother thing. Like I said the other day, what people don't understand is you go out on the road, besides the fact that you're leaving your family, you're going out on the road, you've got to get your tanning in, you've got to get your weight training in, there's a certain way you've got to act, a certain way you've got to dress, you've got times have to be met, meet and greets. There is so much pressure that's unbelievable. This guy, after 16 years of being a tag team, finally won his first title. Of course he's going to get emotional. Right. And so, that was a very odd take, right. And then,
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, Joe, can you read what he said afterwards? Because he said something like, I agree with Rikishi. I may not have read it right.
Yeah. The last report I have here is Rikishi challenged him to come on his podcast, which makes me wink at it a little bit. Like, these guys are working together?
Did Vince, I highly doubt it. What did Vince No, but Vince said something afterwards. He said something like, you know,
He says, and this is from today, from Sportskeeda Wrestling's Coach and Bro show. What I was doing is what I do every week. I critique the shows. I critiqued Raw and SmackDown. I get paid to critique. Let me be clear about that. What I was doing was critiquing a show and Jay's promo. I am a fan of Jay. He is over to the moon. I've never said anything bad about the guy. If you go back and watch the promo was bad TV. It was very bad TV. He was so emotional, bro, he could hardly speak. He kept picking up the mic saying...
That's actually good TV.
Yeah.
Vince is clueless, dude. I mean, it's just like, you know, this is how
For
bad
a guy to break character and get emotional like him, bro, that's the first singles title in 16 years. He's probably thinking, I may never get a singles title, because for the last year, they weren't doing with him, and nobody thought they were going to take it off Braun Breaker that quick.
Right. It's not even that. Vince, for years, since he's been podcasting, has been critiquing to say the WWE creative sucks.
Right.
Like literally, like with no, like none of it's been good.
Right.
And like during the periods of when they were having incredible prosperity, okay, he's still sticking to his guns that the WWE creative sucks. And I have conversations with him. I'm having one with him tomorrow. Okay. I can't get it through his thick skull. Okay. That because he's trying to, so let me read you this stupid tweet that he has. This is his analogy. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I keep railing on the WWE. They're doing record business right now. Okay. And like anybody that understands the concept of creative and professional wrestling and what it drives. It drives attendance. It drives marketing, pay-per-view. Bro, all of the metrics, they're like breaking records in right now. Okay. He's still trying to say that the creative sucks and other factors are driving the metrics. I'm like, what are the facts? So this is his stupid analogy. Okay. I got to read this. This is hysterical. Okay. I like that. This is literally, it's embarrassing. And it's almost like level. Okay. Where is this here? So where do you want me to okay. So he keeps going to me like he thinks I'm a WWE shill. Okay. When all I'm doing is saying like, hey, their creative must be pretty good right now because they're breaking records.
Right.
Like that's like, you know, like as an analyst, do you know how stupid this is? How stupid I would sound if they had me in like on MLB TV, okay, and I was on there talking about how the Yankees are, right, and the guys that go, "What are you talking about, dude? They're playing and think, well, whoa, they're this, the terrible Judge kid hit when you like." That's literally like what he's saying. His theory is, I'm trying to point to them like, bro, they're doing record numbers. This is how stupid his theory is. This is how dumb he is. You want me to put more WWE propaganda out there? You sure I'm going to get my Legends deal after this? I'm losing all my credibility, because this is his theory. By the way, did you know the San Francisco Giants made money this year, but the product they put on the field stunk? Can you imagine? I'm like, Vince, that's not how you're measuring attendance and stuff and everything in wrestling. It's like that's a completely different measurement. The measurement of whether the creative is good is if you're driving business numbers. Like, dude, if your creative stunk in AAA, and if people said your creative's terrible, and you were doing half houses, and the numbers on TV were good, people would sit there and say, hey, the creative stinks. Okay, but if that same creative, okay, that people were criticizing were drawing big numbers, you were selling out and doing record business, you would have to tell the people, it's like, dude, how bad can the creative be? It's like your opinion of the creative must be terrible because, you know, it must be good because we're drawing houses and numbers. He can't comprehend that. And I try to tell him, like, I've tried to like repeatedly, clue him into, because he's still, this is how dumb he is. He still points to rating numbers. Though, look at the ratings. That's just like, dude, I go, Vince, they've already got the money for the new deal. Okay. Whatever WWE's rating is on a weekly basis, they have zero. There's no financial, like they're not getting any money if they do 2.7 million people this week, and they're not losing any money if they do 1.7 people next week. Okay, they've already got the money for the rights fees. It's in the bank. It's like, they're getting, right. It's a done deal. It's
and not only that, Disco. One thing is that the San Francisco Giants is a profitable business because maybe they're selling a lot of jerseys like Bonds jerseys and stuff like that, and maybe people like the as a place to go out instead of going to movies, to go to a baseball game or whatever. Whatever the reason is, it's very different because these guys are going to Saudi Arabia and selling out. They're going to Germany and selling out.
Well,
all around the United States, they have like 30 straight sellouts. The merchandise are their best numbers ever. I mean, they're just breaking records everywhere.
And it's not even that. This is another part of how stupid that argument is. Okay, if they would won the National League pennant,
right?
Okay, if they think they went 162 this year. Okay, they would be generating more income. And more so their performance on the field actually does, equate to income. Right. You're drawing more fans. Just the fact that they made a bunch of money doesn't mean that their performance caused them to make less money. Okay, so the WWE creative is like causing them to make more money. It's like I can't even argue with this guy because he's like an idiot. And I keep trying to tell him, dude, in 1995 to 1999. The only way you could watch wrestling was what? Monday. On TV and the hour that it aired, correct?
Right.
So everybody got together. there were nitro parties and people just like Monday Night Football. If you don't watch the game, you miss it. And then you find out what the score is afterwards. You're not going back and watching it, but wrestling's episodic television. These days, you can miss professional wrestling because it's scripted TV and watch it on other platforms, which a ton of people are doing.
Right.
Like a ton, like millions of tens of. Bro, I said like we did that. I did that stuff on AI. Like over 10 million people are viewing WWE content on a weekly basis. I'm like, well, what's so difficult to understand here? They've obviously mastered the formula of audience capture to where it's generating massive amounts of income and attendance. And it's like it's trying to argue with the guy that's trying to tell you, well, no, it sucks. Like, how do you argue with somebody like that?
I have
not only.
It's like, I mean, like, it's ridiculous. Go ahead.
No. The only thing I was going to say, but I might have lost my track of mind is I can't understand that as a former mega fan, right, and also a writer, that he cannot see how brilliant their booking is. I mean.
Dude, all you do is
and the numbers speak for themselves.
All you do is watch a show. Now you can discount on a weekly basis. You can talk about the creative that you think is good and bad, right? Like we can talk about, but the way they're shooting the show, they're shooting it like a TV show. There's a lot of cinematography. There's a lot of vignettes with music.
Attention to detail.
There's a lot of attention to detail.
Video packages.
There's like, bro, it's like none of the matches on a weekly basis are cold. They're all born out of an episodic storyline that has to be going on in the show. And if there is a cold match out of nowhere, which very rarely happens, it usually leads into another storyline. They're doing episodic storytelling, and like to sit there and like as a writer, which he is, like to sit there and say like what the creative sucks. It's like, dude, what are you missing here? Right. It's like all you got to do is watch the other show, AEW, and look at what WWE is doing, and there's two shows on cable television right now that are drawing big audiences, and one is drawing way more than the other one, and you can plainly see why that's happening. Any educated person that's been in this business can see what's going on, and the fact that Vince.
Do you think the business has passed him by?
No, I just think honestly his shtick, his bro, he's just like Cornette.
Right.
Cornette has his shtick. Right. Okay. Vince's shtick is everything that was written by anybody else in professional wrestling has sucked except for mine.
Right.
But bro, I mean, literally, he can't even. I would ask him to, dude, who can you put over? Like he won't put anybody over. It's like, like everything you do is like it's like.
That you should ask him that tomorrow. In the last 20 years, not counting yourself.
Right.
Who do you think has done a good job writing in professional wrestling?
Right.
Yeah.
And I would say, well, whoever's doing it right now in WWE is doing a really good job. Right. Because they're drawing record. Like, bro, remember that we were burying this. Triple H would be the answer. Right. As head of creative, he's just taking it to a completely another level. Vince is out of the picture. He's not creative anymore. And you could see that Vince was dragging that product down. Right. Yeah. Okay, because now Hunter has taken over. Bro, Hunter's a smart cookie.
Right.
Hunter went up and down the roads with Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash. Everything got educated by those smart.
Over was the years. Back there, and he grew up with Pat Patterson in the back.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, bro, he got buried. Over the curtain call
Right.
They literally buried the guy. He fought, he rose back up, married into the company. Now he's running the show.
Right.
And he's doing a really good job.
Great job.
And like to ignore that is just like is like intellectually.
Our Legends contract should be in the mail right now,
just,
Disco. Just so you know.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
we
so
need
like,
it. Right. Right.
Yeah,
right.
it's like, dude, it's like I'm just.
That's just a lazy argument. Go ahead, Joe.
I got two things.
Go ahead, Joe.
One is I am a brand subscriber, but again, just like with wrestling, I don't listen as much as I used to. But I'm in the Facebook group, and there's a split going on in the brand Facebook group. There's a lot of guys that still like what Vince does, and he's very critical and all that. But there's a split there where there's a lot of guys going, dude, every time I listen, he hates everything. So people are starting to go, oh my God, this is getting.
Yeah, it's like, how can you be hating this
he
stuff
doesn't put anything over
business? Like,
right.
It's like you're scratching your head, going like, what is he hating on here?
Right.
The arenas are full. The crowd's popping. There's huge pops. It's like, it's like, what's going on here? It's like, I don't
and
know.
Not only that, I would venture to think that that's a niche audience, right? So that just want to hear hate, negativity.
Yeah, that's Vince's shtick,
Yeah.
But Vince's whole the best thing that Vince does, okay, is that Cash Ready the Mark show.
Right.
Okay, they make fun of all the Sean Ross Sapp and the funny things that those guys say each week. And that's a funny show.
Right.
But
they give him plenty of content.
His weekly analysis of this televised product, bro, he's doing the show with Ben and Stevie, the guys the two guys that think the earth is flat.
Right.
Okay, so it's like you're not going to get like, like
they agree with him?
Oh yeah, they
really?
Completely, oh yeah. Yeah, every week.
Next time Ben's on here, I want to ask him.
Yeah,
why.
just bro? They just like to. Here's their shtick. They like to consider themselves the smartest guys in the room.
Right.
Okay. And it's like, dude, if you're criticizing a product when it's doing record numbers, you're really not the smartest guy in the room. You have to like relent a little bit on your shtick of like everything sucks and like appreciate some of the things that they're doing. My thing of appreciation wise, bro. There's something shot differently on that show every single week, like a sit down between Adam Pearce and Bronson Reed. They're having like a meeting and stuff. Bro, they're just like doing different things, and like I don't know how they can't appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
they make. You said this once, and it's very true. They make every segment interesting so that you don't want to miss anything.
Right. And
now,
like we can talk about the girls. Like a lot of the girls stuff is very generic, just stuff. But bro, there's 5 hours of TV every week, and like, I'm gonna be like critical of the product over for that 8 minutes worth of TV that those girls were on.
Right.
It's like that's like big deal, right? So like, who cares, right?
So I had a clip forwarded to me that relates to this because John Paz, two-man power trips, John Paz sent me a clip where it's called Vince Russo goes off on Disco Inferno. It's a couple minutes long. You want to check it out?
Yeah. He goes off on me on when we do it, but he thinks, listen how stupid this is. I can only imagine what he's going to say, but this is how
long ago is this, Joe?
Probably this week.
He sent it to me yesterday.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hang on. I got to change my playback. Okay, we're good.
I just have a funny question for you. Is Disco Inferno looking for a Legends contract or what? What's going on with
I just bust his because he keeps putting over the WWE and it's like, I don't know what his problem is. He's putting over stuff that is absolutely the drizzling. This guy has lowered the bar so much. It's nauseating to me.
Do you think that he's doing that because he's looking for a Legends contract, in their heart of hearts, or no?
No, I don't know, bro. I just think that the bar has been so lowered. So anything that is different or out of the norm, you're gonna put over. When what you're putting over sucks. You want me to believe a fan shot an encounter that was supposed to be a real fight, and Kevin Owens is hitting him with rabbit punches? That's what a real fight would look like, bro. And Disco thought that was great. Like, are you out of your mind, bro?
Do you know what he said about you? I don't know if you even heard this.
No, I didn't hear.
He said that if you didn't write it, you're never going to say it's good because you didn't write it. That's why you didn't write it.
Bro, meanwhile, a million things I put over. Bro, I even said, bro, I left in the middle of the Test Stephanie gimmick.
Yeah.
I've said on the record a billion times the gimmick they did with Triple H, was a lot better than where I was going. I've said that a million times. That is such, bro. When they do good stuff, I put it over. But when it sucks, like, give me a break, bro.
Here's another. You're not going to like this. I don't know if you heard this. What he also said. He said possible brain damage from the Goldberg spear. What's up with that?
I mean, come on, John. Did you see the ring collapse?
It wasn't the greatest. I heard that they weren't happy with the way it collapsed.
Not
either.
only wasn't the greatest, but you saw immediately they had these different vanilla ring posts. You saw immediately that this was going to happen. Then when it collapses, all that happens is these ring posts fall forward. It looked like, bro, I'm not going to sit there and put that over. I put over Chelsea.
No, you know what Vince thinks the best thing on the show was?
What?
Chelsea Green getting thrown in the dumpster.
That was funny.
But he said that's the best thing on the show. Did you like that? He goes, I think he's got brain damage from the goal.
Yeah, that was great.
I was stirring it up a little bit.
Well, me and Vince have good podcasts because we argue a lot about this. Yeah, so and plus people think it's like we did like actually dislike each other.
Right.
You know, the people that like think it's like a shit, right? Yeah. But bro, I'll tell you right now, okay? You can hear these arguments that me and Vince have on the podcast, dude. You know, nothing compared to me, Vince, Jarrett in the bookie meetings. We've had way worse, arguments and stuff like over actual booking. Well, when we're trying to write a show and argue about creatively, okay, what are we going to put on TV? Those are the actual real ones where there's more passionate arguments than just argue with somebody on a podcast.
Right.
I've actually been like you, Cody. You've been there.
Right. Yeah. Because you got to defend your position. And sometimes the other guy he's defending his position, and then sometimes you're fighting with a guy that has more power than you.
Right. And this is over stuff that's actually going on TV.
Yeah.
To be recorded like it airs. So it's like, it's like these podcast arguments are like, but bro, this is not much.
Yeah. Booking meeting arguments are way better because sometimes people actually get hot.
Yeah. And because they're way more serious too, because there's a lot more at stake,
Right.
So.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.